Well, hello there. My name is Dave Bila. I want to welcome you to this new edition of News and Views broadcast by Access Board County on Public Access TV Channel 99. We are a weekly public opinion program addressing local, state, and national topics and issues of interest to the Michigan City and surrounding areas. Opinions are the views and the responsibilities of making the comments and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of this program or its by co-producers. We will adhere to broadcast rules, but absolutely no one's First Amendment right to freedom of speech or freedom of the press will be either muzzled nor denied. Any unauthorized use of the accounts and descriptions of this program without the express written consent of this program is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoy the program, the participants, and the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following politics per se, it seems that we have a individual who got elected as President of the United States, and he is conveying his approach, his ideas, into a new attitude as to how we are to get along.
We call that a paradigm shift.
I would call it a opportunity.
Thinking out of the box and doing things way different.
I would call it basically you use bigger words than I do.
Paradigm shift.
I'm just saying compromise. Compromise in everyday's events, everyday's decisions making, and so on. But there's a problem. 50%, or in this case, roughly 48, 49% of those individuals, they don't want to compromise. They don't want to agree to disagree and come up with a common denominator on a specific issue. They want it, in my mind, they want it all their way. And the new attitude that is being conveyed by President Trump wants to, in my mind, spread the wealth. And where he wants to spread the wealth at are the people who are the bottom feeders, so to speak.
Wait, we got a timeout.
Oh, timeout.
So the theory, and I don't know if you watched or listened to Rush Limbaugh or any of the politics, I'd say back in the late 80s or 90s, they talked about an example called a pie. Now, they always talked about that one party in the United States thought that you could, there's so much in the pie, and you share what's in the pie. The other part of the United States think you can grow the pie, and everyone could have the same slice of pie. And that's what Trump, I think, thinks, that I don't have to slice the pie up so each people get a piece. I can grow the pie, there's a bigger pie, and everyone gets the same slice of pie.
And so, in taking what Tony just said and applying it to my take a new attitude approach.
That takes a new attitude.
It seems like it would work if the two parties would agree to one another, except for the last 30, or I've been saying this it's my opinion, but I've been saying this for the last 30 or 40 years, people have been living off the trough. People have been having it always given to them, and the only thing that they know is freebies. Freebie rental, freebie diapers, freebie housing, freebie utilities, freebie anything and everything. And they don't want to pay their fair share. In my mind, the individuals who are paying over and above their fair share are the wealthy. Okay?
Yes, so the wealthy are growing the pie.
Correct.
And there are people who got freebies, and I don't know if it's anything, I think they know better. Everyone knows better. But I think they have come accustomed to, and they have a muscle memory that that's what they do. They're not willing to extend themselves or reach out further to great more. They're just happy with getting their little slice of the pie that they don't have to do any work for. Mm-hmm. And Trump is trying to change that.
And so the clog in the wheel that continues to, the sprocket that the chain spins around, have these obstructions.
Well, I think it's like a wheel that's got a bunch of mud in it. It can't work anymore.
Well, I'm saying bigger than mud. I'm saying
the tire treads are full of mud.
And what I have to go back to again my life and my wife's life and our family's life. We didn't have it too good. We struggled, but we continued to move forward. And then now, eventually, we're reasonably comfortable. Yeah, there are problems, like we're going to have to cut our grass once in a while.
Or you got to pay $20 to fill up your $5 gas can for your lawnmower.
Yeah. But we're in a position now that these for example, this morning, my wife pointed out to me, she said she normally goes to a place up in Michigan that you buy two and you get one free or something like this. She said the ad that they used to produce was an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of different goods, and buy 2 hot dogs and get the third, buy 2 packs of hot dogs, get the third one. The 8.5 by 11 inch sheet is now only covers about a third of that sheet with coupons and values and so on. Not everything is static. Not everything is etched in stone. Things. We have to take our experiences of the past, our financial experiences of the past, our physical experiences of the past, and invest them in a future. And sometimes people are going to have to swallow their pride and say, hey, our grocery bill went up a little bit. You know, and ask yourself the question, did my wage increase on the job that I don't have? Why is it that I am not pursuing an effort in improving my lifestyle? People will complain that, well, this isn't going right and that isn't going right. What have they done to contribute to make it better? Tony?
Yeah, you bring to a point which is hard to discuss with the majority of people. You have to have faith.
Correct.
Faith that you are working hard, you are doing your best and in life, and you're not going to see all of a sudden and social media has really hurt this, that I've become a millionaire and I'm going out with the Hollywood celebrities or whatever. We keep working in our life and we do the best, and after 50, 60 years, you realize I have something to show for it, that I worked hard. I might not have, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but usually you're winning. It might not be a big win, but it's still a win, and a win after a win starts creating value and creating money. And it's hard for, I think, this generation, because of social media, has everything now and technology now, and they don't have faith to see the future, that when 60 years comes about, which it comes about pretty quick, I might have amassed some money, some funds, not a lot, but enough to be comfortable. My house is good, my house is paid off, I don't have to drive a Ferrari or a Porsche, I'm driving a Toyota Corolla, which is kind of expensive. I'm not driving a cheapy Chevy, a base Chevy, or maybe I'm saving money. And I think that's very hard for people to understand, and now we throw this politics, and politics has gotten so overheated, pressurized. I don't want to be negative Nelly, but I don't see a way out of this until the pressure gets released. And things are happening right now that are very bad.
Well, I do see a way out of it at the end of the year when we have to file our taxes. The working family, to my knowledge, is now able to claim $6,000.
Oh yeah, we're going to see a nice tax deduction.
We're going to see this in our taxes, which will be an influx of dollars into our economy. But this transition takes time, okay? Because
you gotta have faith. You gotta
have faith because what was it, a $2,000 exemption before?
Yes.
And so it's tripled. Individuals tax exemption. Now, if you've got a family, does that apply to a single individual? What is a family benefit?
I don't remember, because it's been a couple months since I read the bill.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go quickly a little bit off topic. So we have to have faith that things are changing. And one thing, and I don't know if you read it, I didn't bring it in, but I read the article. Governor Braun, who is a businessman, he's conservative, he has now members of the IURC, the Indiana Utility Rate Commission. And I believe a company went down to the IURC and they wanted a 30% increase or a 24% increase in electric rate. Not only did the IURC, for the first time that I ever remember, with Braun's appointments, told them you're not getting a rate increase. Actually, we're going to decrease your electricity rates.
Wow.
So maybe we might be able to see, because NIPSCO's been down, what, 3 times in the last 2 years for gas and electric? And that's why you have to have faith. And it's across party lines. But we have a governor right now who's not a Democrat like we are. And he is looking out for us. He's looking out for the ratepayers, and he's telling, through his IURC, that we don't accept you coming here with mounds of paperwork and asking for hundreds of millions of dollars, literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And just like our taxing, we are going to see that every month. So I think that sends a shot across the bow to every utility in Indiana. He's not going to take this. You're not coming to the IURC and get a rubber stamp for a 16, 20, 30% increase. You come to the IURC, guess what we're going to do? We're going to tell you to lower the rates. And we know we're paying a lot. You know, hot dogs are getting expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Gas is kind of coming down. Groceries are kind of stabilizing, coming down a little bit, still expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see, have faith, we're going to see this system comes through. Lower electric bills, lower gas bills, money back in your taxes come next spring, and you'll be happy.
And with this, Trump has been in office for 7 months.
Yeah, not very long.
At the federal level, at the world level, he's accomplished a lot.
Amazing amount of stuff.
Things take time. We haven't went through a 12-month tax cycle yet. But yet we've got these individuals who have relied again on their Social Security payments all of their lives.
Oh, and you're getting a Social Security bump, I think.
We are. It's
extra
going up
bump.
to almost 2.9%.
An extra bump.
I read that, yeah.
And we know this. I'm not a fan of history. I did not like history as young high school. I am definitely a purveyor of history now. We know what will happen with Trump because we saw it happen 4 years when he was first in. When he left, the economy, and I don't agree with it, was 3% interest rates, 2% interest, too low. The economy was roaring. What's the Dow today? 46,000? Is the Dow going to hit 60, 70,000 by the time Trump's out? This economy is good, and this is my problem. This economy is going to be so hot. It gets too hot. You can't run a machine, any machine, that hot without it cooling down. And Biden let it run pretty hot. It stayed, whether you like him or not, his economy, it rolled along. Stock market went up. Because things that Trump as a businessman does to get the government out of the way of business and give them the ability to prosper. And it takes time.
Tony talks about the Dow. After Trump was elected, or before Trump was elected, I had a minus 11% value on my stocks.
Your retirement portfolio.
Today, believe me, I'm at 16.9%.
Yep. I just checked my Indiana because I used to be a public employee, elected official. I think the options I checked this year are running 14%.
Okay, well, we're pretty close.
Pretty nice, 14. And what's the standard economy? It says 6 to 8%, and you're doubling your money every 8 years.
Yeah.
We're double that. Maybe triple that.
I'm at the 5-year past projection. I'm almost at 9% accumulation.
So you're 1.5 times the economist standard of doubling your money every 8 years at 6%.
So somebody knows something. These people that are managing funds.
Well, I think it's a group in your generation who's worked hard their whole life, saved money, haven't been extravagant, invested for the future, and that is a baby boomer group that is, what, 40% of our population right now, who controls 80% of the money. So the baby boomer generation is controlling somewhere around $70 trillion of investments. And they are driving this investment stock market up and up because they're old school. They're not looking at crypto. They're not looking
No,
at
we're
things
not.
that are out here and dangerous. They're in a very safe environment. You know, the Dow, what is it, Dow 500, Fortune 500, or the Dow 30. They're looking at very good companies.
Yeah, I've got about 18 stocks of different values, different valuation. AT&T, Morgan Stanley. I mean, big stocks. And I also have these little bitty stocks that I have invested in prior years. I invested in rare earth. I bought rare earth when I thought
That's
it
a
was
bold
hot.
move. It's a bold
I
move.
bought rare earth. I thought it was hot at the time. It was like $2 or $3 a share back about 5 years ago. That baby went downhill and downhill and downhill, and pretty soon it became penny. This last year, that penny stock has made me almost $4,000. I've got over 2,000
And
shares.
see, $4,000 isn't a lot, but after 60 years,
Right, when you look at the overall, yeah, when it got down to when it got down to $1 a share, I bought more, and I bought more. So and now I got 2,000 shares, and now it's up at about $2.30 a share. If you find an extra buck or two, rather than investing it at the local bar, and
or a lottery ticket, which
Or lottery-
are fun, but
well, yeah, I took a beating on this last lottery.
not a $5. What's the one that's $5 now? The Mega Millions.
Mega Million,
Who wants to
$5.
pay $5?
No.
But $2, yeah, take a shot.
Well, I did. I overindulged. But again,
But yeah, it's,
when it
it's
gets
a-
to what $1.6 billion,
Yeah, so if it gets to that, people, you know, you go buy a $2 lottery ticket for a $1 billion jackpot. Well, you know, if you go buy a lottery ticket for a $2 billion jackpot, and it doesn't hit, which it didn't for like 4 or 5 times, you can buy multiple draws, like multiple weeks. So you can buy up to 12 draws, so $24 for every other draw. It's the same number multiple times in the future. So you don't have to keep coming back and buying the $2 tickets. But it's something. But anyways, it's if you're going to save slowly after 50, 60, 70 years, you actually have something. And we have to have faith, and we have to realize that, you know, stay the course. You're going to be fine. There's going to be some ups and downs. But and I don't know where you want to go with this, but the vitriol we have right now is not going to end well for either party.
no.
And things that happened this week.
Compromises have to be met, and agreements have to be agreed to for the common decency of everybody.
Or humanity.
Right?
And you know, I was going to the political fallout this year, and I didn't pay much attention to the individual that was assassinated. I knew the name, but really, are we at that point where words require physical action? I've never saw that in my life. That doesn't help anybody. Walk away. Use your energy on something constructive.
Yeah, this 31-year-old young kid who started the program when he was 15 or 16 years old spoke his heart.
He spoke what he believed. And that's America.
And going back to my presentation about individuals' First Amendment rights of freedom of speech or freedom of the press, we've been touting that issue for the last, 14, 15 years now. Because we have the right to say, we can't yell fire in a theater, but we can express ourselves. In my mind, at least what I've seen on TV, he was organizing the youth
Oh yeah.
of tomorrow.
Yes.
And he was bringing in, now, here, for example, here's a no good Lutheran, right here, and here's a no good Polish Catholic, but yet there's something that we've got in common.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's common sense. And so what he did was he organized these group of kids. He traveled from college to college to college. He took on all comers.
Oh yeah.
He took on all comers and discussed his way of life versus their way of life. He didn't chase them away. You know, if they didn't agree with him, he tried to reason with them. If they didn't agree, well, you move on. But the fact of the matter is, the future of your kids and my grandkids
Yeah.
are at stake. And don't you think that we could find a way to arrive at a compromise of some sort, to agree to disagree without resorting to violence? That's pathetic, people.
Yeah, what I don't understand, no matter what side of any issue you are on, if you think you're on the right side of an issue, I'm not saying right or left, but you are on the correct side of an issue, you should be smart enough to rationalize and logic and reason that if I'm right on an issue, I'm going to be right tomorrow. And if this person is wrong that I think is wrong, they're going to be wrong tomorrow. So I don't need physical violence to prove I'm right. Time will prove that for you. If you are theoretically right, tomorrow or a year or 10 years, you will be proven right. And the hard thing about this, and we're going to go back to some old sayings, the hard thing about it is when you are proven right without physical violence, just because it's right, you don't go back and say, I told you so. You're right. Let it go. Let it be. You're right. And you were right by proving that what you consider was right is right, plus also you're right because you knew it was going to be right. We don't need the physical violence to prove. If anyone's going to use physical violence, and we've seen this, again, back to history, back in history, when people have to prove they're right through physical violence or physical force, it's always wrong. Always. No matter what society you look like, when people think they have to use violence to prove they're right, I know they're wrong.
This young man who shot this other fellow by the name of Kirk, he was a 22-year-old Mormon from Utah. He's from a registered Republican family. And his mindset wasn't in agreement with his Republican father and so on. So his father basically returned him in, whether he's going to get a $100,000 reward.
I think in today's age and parents, you have to turn them in because they will put you in jail because you didn't. I think that's a scary slope we should never go down. How are we responsible for an adult child, even if they're living in your house? They're an adult. Now, if you knew something, you didn't report it, you should be some responsible. If they do something this drastic and unbelievable, and you know it's them, then you turn them in. But to go after adults when they didn't know, I mean, there was that kid over in just in Illinois who shot during the July 4th parade. They went after those parents, and they didn't know, and they're putting them in jail. These are adults. We raised our kids, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. They're adults. It's hard for us to let them go make their own mistakes or their own triumphs. We have to do that. That's what parents do.
And I was thinking about this, I made a couple of comments on prior shows about reinitiating the draft. Well, maybe you don't necessarily have to reinitiate the draft, but make something compulsory for these young kids who do not want to attend college, and yet give them something to do rather than sitting home playing with their video game or whatever, or reading the internet, or being convoluted mentally with somebody else's values. Maybe the government should initiate a program that would basically mandate, okay, either college, either work, or some type of compulsory transition period.
Trade schools are
Trade schools, right. And again, trade schools, not everybody is book learned, so to speak. So that would the trade school would offer an opportunity. But in the same vein, those individuals who then go through the process are guaranteed, okay, guaranteed a job, not necessarily in, for example, your business.
Yep.
Could you possibly put on an apprentice?
I got my two daughters who are being apprentices, and they're at Ivy Tech, so they are moving forward.
They are moving forward.
And yes, I did hire a high school kid back in 2000. He still works with me. He's licensed. He's an amazing individual.
So you gave him a chance.
Gave him a chance.
Other businesses could also give people a chance.
The hard thing, so I want to go back to faith. And the viewers probably think, oh, well, you know, you talk about we have to have faith. And we have to have faith on every level. We have to have faith with these young people. And I mean that in the sense that they have to give them a chance. Giving them a chance isn't, oh, you got, you know, we're going to put you in trade school. You got to show up at 7 in the morning and you got to stay till 3. They're not going to do it. That's just not who they are. They're not like us. And for us to pound them into submission, this is what happens. We have to have faith that they might show up at 9 or 10 o'clock. And they might work till 7 o'clock. But we don't like that. We got to make them do 7 to 3 or they're not good people. No, they're different and that's okay. And they could be productive members.
And this concept that we're skirting around basically starts with the educational process.
Yes.
If a solid foundation of waking up at in my case it's between 6:15 and 7:10 in the morning.
Well, you get older, it gets earlier.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But again, I take my grandson to school. You know, that's, you know.
I always thought for the high school kids or even grade school to make them get up at 6 or 7 in the morning. These humans are growing and they need their sleep. We are doing that because we like the time frame. We want them to get out at 3. It's not about the kids. It's because we want that. We got to stop that. Maybe they need to go to school. Maybe the grade school is 9 o'clock to 5. I don't know. Maybe high school's 9 to 4. I don't know, but I don't want to give everything to the students, but we got to at least bend to them a little bit to give them, to make them realize we do need you and you are important. We're just not going to keep beating on you until you do what you're told. I think we've seen that, and some of these kids are not coming out well.
Yeah, well, I'm going back to the educational process. The instructors, whether it's parochial, whether it's public, whether it's private schools, part of the curriculum that they have to stress is a value system, and part of the value system is feeling good about yourself. And if you don't feel good about yourself sitting in a classroom, look at the Montessori concept.
Yeah.
The Montessori concept, the stronger kids basically teach the lesser kids, and once you graduate from the Montessori concept after 8th grade, not too many people are not accustomed to assimilate themselves into the high school level. They sort of
fit.
They sort of, yeah.
You're a square peg in a round hole.
And you figure a way to make it work. But our educational process, and maybe the governor, through the state of Indiana, might change this concept of public instruction.
We're going right back to where we started. You're trying to change something that's so entrenched that it puts a lot of guards up on people and they feel threatened. And that's hard, if not impossible, to overcome. We have muscle memory, we are entrenched, this is the way things are, this is the way things work, this is the only way things will ever work. If you do something different, we know things won't work. We don't know that.
Yeah. And again, Tony used muscle memory. I say take a new attitude. But if you've living off the trough for the last 40 years, your muscle memory is one-sided. And it's difficult to right that ship.
Yeah, almost impossible.
Almost impossible.
Almost impossible to change your attitude.
One of the things that I received in the mail was a informative letter from Pat Boyd, legislative update of 2025. Well, it's got a lot of nice pictures on it, and the legislative, a few new laws I like. Well, out of this House Bill number 1, there were a lot of laws,
Yeah.
but on this, no information pertaining to this House Bill number 1. The closest thing that came was Saving Lives, a law authorizing increased access to life-saving opioid overdose reversal medication in our schools. Hoosier residents now can voluntarily place a yellow dot sticker on the rear window of their vehicle, a yellow envelope with essential medical information in their glove box, so that in case there was an accident and you saw the sticker, the EMS people could help. Electrical motor vehicle cycles are now exempt from the electrical vehicle supplemental fee. I authorize this legislation after learning that from local residents that vehicles like mopeds and e-bikes are being charged an annual state electrical vehicle registration fee. Paying cancer costs, no reference to Porter County. Porter County's budget is going to be eliminated, $49.5 million. LaPorte County's budget is going to be eliminated, $18.1 million. In this,
All the units in LaPorte County.
yeah, all the units in
Michigan City,
LaPorte County and Porter County, right? Why? Why? You know, here's a nice little area that encompasses phone numbers for Family Social Services and Motor Vehicle Highway and Department of Transportation and Governor Barr. But some of that blue could be utilized to explain. Some of this yellow could be see other side for an update of new laws.
House Bill 1 was chock full of, you ought to go online and start reading it. It is lots and lots of things.
But don't you think that a brochure like this
Should highlight
something?
House Bill 1. Good or bad?
Good or bad?
Good or bad? What's in House Bill 1? Because I don't think Pat Boyd voted for it, but it got passed.
No, she didn't vote
By a
for it.
majority.
Yeah.
So whether you vote for it or not, we're all under the law.
And so what we discussed earlier in this program was a compromise on attitudes and on approaches. Well, here's a one-sided bill that doesn't encompass the entire state. She not only represents us, she also represents the entire state in holding that particular seat. And she had some direct or indirect input into House Bill 1. Why doesn't she explain it? Why?
House Bill 1, which is typically loaded, but this one was really loaded full of a lot of things. It's like the potpourri of all laws. They package it in this one bill and they vote for it, which again, I am not a fan of. I think you should vote for each one. So you are on the hook for each item. Maybe it's going to take a while. Well, it's going to take a while. To package things up, well, you got to vote for this because you like this in there, but this I don't like's in there, but I got to vote for it. It's a big package of soup. And I think we should go back to one-on-one. If you want something, vote for it. We don't package things into a bunch of stuff, and it's mostly good, so I voted for it. And same with the governor. I mean, if we want to veto something, they should veto one thing. Line item veto, they call that, right? Don't like that. I'm not doing that. And House Bill 1, which every year is that way, and it's on the federal level too. What the big beautiful bill, which a lot of people don't like and a lot of people do, there was lots of things in there that might have bollocksed up the bill's intent. Things that we are just now finding about. I mean, there's my stack of stuff in all articles, but this could be one bill on the federal level. And you think somebody can read that, let alone understand all the nuances in it? They hire legislative service people to look at that. Really? I know it's hard, and you're a state representative or a state legislator or a federal representative. Shouldn't you be reading that? I mean, there's a lot of things in there that could, I don't know what you could do about it, but there's a lot of things in there you better know.
Or there should be some verbal service. That because not everyone reads.
Well, I believe
not everyone reads.
The big beautiful bill was actually read on the floor in its entirety because the Senate Democrat says we are going to make you read word for word. You know that guy reads real fast on the commercials. They had that guy on the floor, and it took him, I don't know, 20 hours to physically read word for word.
You're right.
Beautiful bill.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's fine with me. Read it. Let's see what's in it because A, it bought them time, and B, there might be something that they didn't like to be read out loud that got read out loud. Well, whatever. Read it. It's fine.
My concept again: take a new attitude and bring it down to the. Let's resolve our. You and I. Let's resolve our conflict today. You disagree. I disagree. But there's a meeting of the mind someplace between.
Or time will resolve it on its own.
Yeah.
If you're right, you're right. And it doesn't have to be resolved right now.
And so slow down, everybody. Slow down and smell the roses.
If you have a logical reasoned argument that you're right, in my life I live this way, that if I am right and I think I'm right and I am right and I wait, I can sit back like and realize I'm right. I don't have to push it on anybody. It's just going to, and I can revel in, I was right. I'm not going to fight somebody physically for it, but you know, when it all shook out, that was the right thing to do. And so I'm switching a little bit, being right, but the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. And the right thing to do might take a little time. Let it be. It will happen. Slow down. It'll be okay.
I sit around when I'm in front of the computer and I do a lot of thinking. And a comment that I read pertaining to Strebel Pond. This one comment was that they used to see a lot of ducks and geese and floating around in the water. And they haven't so many wild animals around Strebel Pond, the water's edge. And so I thought of the pH of water, the alkalinity, the acidity base of water. And I thought maybe I should look into the pH of Strebel Pond, because when they dredged Strebel Pond, they took it down to a muck level. They didn't go down any further than that because it
Wild animals like muck. They don't like sand.
all right. And this area is basically, it's a sand base. Yeah. And so maybe the pH of the water in Strebel Pond isn't conducive to attract fish, wildlife. Even while Strebel Pond really isn't that deep to begin with, because they only went down to the muck level. But if somebody who initiated that program not only thought about dredging it down, but dredging it deep enough so that maybe something could grow. But the pH of the water, this woman's inquiry, why you don't see any ducks and geese, because there's nothing there for them to dig into that water and eat. It's just nothing more than water, standing water. And again, I was opposed to Strebel Pond to begin with. I was opposed to its location.
I was opposed to the price, $22 million.
And again, I'll bring up, it's 68 foot higher than the level of Lake Michigan, but in Michigan City, water runs uphill. I'm just saying that we bring things up, but Strebel Pond is here now. Look at all of the valuable land that encompasses Strebel Pond that could be utilized to build low to moderate income housing.
So they took Strebel Pond when they built it, and they dug it out. They took it and they piled in that hole by the prison. That was a sand borrow area. Beautiful beach sand. They piled it all in that hole. So maybe we got a little bit of buildable area, because that hole over by the prison was pretty deep. Used to mess around there all the time. And now it's buildable ground because it's all piled in with the fill we took from Strebel Pond. So I don't, maybe we got a little bit something back. Maybe we filled in an area that could be usable now, hopefully in the future, because I still want to move on. If you want to move on, I want to talk about the prison.
Good one. Yeah.
And we brought it up. I was on assignment last week. I was in St. Louis, pretty neat. St. Louis, a little side note, the farmers are in dire straits right now. Whether they admit it now, and farmers have talked to me in the last week, 2 weeks, they are really having a hard time because they know the crops that are in the field are almost worthless. The cost to put them in the field, maintain them, and harvest them to what they're going to get out, they're losing them. They're losing so much money. Their mindset next year is, why do I even want to plant next year? Why would I plant a crop at $100, $150, $200 an acre and lose $50, $100 an acre? Why wouldn't I just not plant it and not lose $100 an acre? Just let it go fallow. Just stop planting. That's how bad it is right now, and no one's talking about it. But I want to go back to St. Louis and Mississippi. They are saying that without rain, and we haven't had rain, and we're not having rain yet, Mississippi could be 2 foot deep, which means no barges, no grain going down to the coast. And you can't truck it, and you can't train it. It's too expensive. We might see grains piled up. When you drive out in the county or drive down Indiana or Illinois, drive through Illinois, it's all fields as far as you can see. might see corn piled, beans piled up with tarps on them, just rotting. The last thing I saw this week was that all the grain bins are filled beyond capacity because they put grain in, and it's not. You see a grain bin for people that aren't farmers. You see a grain bin. You don't just put corn and beans in there and wait. You have to keep it dry. That means they have fans running to keep it from molding and dry and a specific level of moisture, or you can't sell it. So all these grain bins, these huge grain bins you've seen, are full to the brim, and there's nothing to put it, and there's no place to put them and wait for corn or beans to go back up. So we're coming to that, and if you look at the prison, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Should we be spending money on plans and designs for something that is now 5, 7, 10 years out? We should wait.
That doesn't make sense.
America moves fast. Society moves fast. If we plan for something 5 years out, it's already done. It's not going to happen.
This data center, the data center, there's going to be an influx of dollars to the city of Michigan City.
Oh yeah.
If I had any control over those dollars,
$26 million windfall.
I would initiate a 10-year budget based on the amount of revenue coming in.
The interest only.
And, right.
Just spend the interest.
You might have to swallow your pride initially, but this initial $25 million?
$26.1 million windfall.
Set that aside for a year. Okay? Live off the interest.
What'd you get? Almost 10%.
Yeah.
10% interest on $26 million.
Yeah, well, it was 26. Well, over the 5
So
years.
that's $2.6 million you can spend every year.
So
Gonna be there.
establish a budget. You gotta, rather than look what we did to the Riverboat Fund and look how much is left in the Riverboat Fund.
If we would have saved that money and not spent
How many times? Yeah, how many times do these opportunities
$1 trillion.
present themselves? But will the city, in its ultimate wisdom,
Yep.
consider this approach?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Nope.
No. Yeah. As soon as we get it, we got to spend it. And so after it's a 10-year tax abatement that we're providing this Phoenix. The state of Indiana is providing the Phoenix people. Well, establish your program for a 10-year program. 2% of that funds generated from new construction within the TIF district is going to generate X amount of dollars. There's going to be a influx of it's going to be a gigantic amount of money coming into the community. But let's budget that money and not spend it right away.
That's where when I walked in, and I've many shows I've come, many people I've talked to, we have to make ourselves resilient. Whatever it takes to make ourselves resilient. And this is one of the ways to make yourself resilient when the times aren't so good. And in my mind, I'll predict it now, 15 years, you're going to see maybe 15-20% of the baby boomers are left. And we will have to be resilient and that comes up quick. Now I want to go back to data centers real quickly. So today, and I've been doing this for about a year and a half. If anyone watched Terminator, the movie, they have something called Skynet. And they're the robots and they run off Skynet. Well, right now, and I have this and I use this, there's something happening and it's called GeoNet. And it's a GPS tower that runs a virtual reference system that locates you in your location. I use it for surveying, trucks use it, robots use it, these cars are using it. It's very accurate. It's accurate because GPS doesn't like trees. This is accurate in the trees in the woods to a ½ inch.
Really?
And
topographically speaking,
I was looking at the new website of this, and they're talking about robotics. Because Musk is talking robotics. He's going to make all these robots, and I believe it's coming. Robo-taxis are here. My brother was in a robo-taxi. That was pretty cool. No driver. Robo-taxi. And something like this, something like Skynet, is here. It's not the future. It is here. Everything will run. Our phones will be very accurate. Robots, if you want to know how robots are going to function, they're going to function because they know where they are. The hardest thing in a robot is to know where you are. The balance we've gotten past. Now the robot needs to know where they're at and what they're doing. They're grabbing something and within an inch. They know between the accelerometer and the GPS location. And I'm not talking, they do have humanoid looking robots, but we're talking any robot. Anything could be a robot. A car could be a robot. Anything could be a robot. That's here, and I've been using this for about a year. The system is getting really, really good, which is really, really scary. When you look at things like Skynet and Terminator, it's here, folks, it's here. And Michigan City has a data center. All that data runs through these data centers. The massive amount of data that we use and we consume is beyond anything we are ready for. And Michigan City is going to get $26 million. I saw that, I believe, Porter County just announced that they had another data center in Wheeler, I believe, and they said, no, we're not doing it. Guess what? Porter County, I guess you're going to be beholden to people like us because we have the data centers, and if the day comes that something happens, maybe people aren't going to be sharing their data because we consume too much data that the data centers can't handle that amount of data. It's here.
I would welcome data with open arms. When you look at the surrounding people, they're rejecting it.
But they're using it.
Yeah, but they're rejecting the concept in their own backyard.
But they're using it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take anything and everything and bring it here because that will stimulate our economy above and beyond our
Not
own.
just stimulate our economy. If we don't have it, it will decimate our economy. We are consuming data beyond the ability of our data centers, good or bad. We are consuming it, every one of us. Talk to your phone. We're on here right now. We're on TV. We're on YouTube. We're all being consumed data, and video was the big leap. Data's easy, but you start taking video data, it's a big leap. And we have not found a way to condense video data, but video is now 85% of the data. It's sucking up a lot of time. So things are changing fast. Michigan City, I'm glad they approved it.
Mm-hmm.
I thank the council member for being courageous. That was not easy. They spent, how many hours they spend there that night? 5, 6 hours? And on a courageous leader note, Michigan City's got a new police chief, which was the old police chief, right? Takes a courageous leader to know when things aren't working well and change your direction, change your attitude. It's very hard for a leader, 10 minutes, to realize this is not working. It's not a bump on anybody that they just weren't capable, it just wasn't working out. It's not negative, just I need to move a different direction. I need to do something to change. It's very hard for any leader, any of us, to change and to admit, it's not working. I gotta make a change. I gotta do something different. I can't keep going down this road.
Now, in regards to this change in police chief, in my mind, looking at it, he was on the school board, he was a police chief member, he was on different boards, and he's basically overextended himself.
Yes, and he was,
again,
big man to admit that.
and again, more people should get involved in the community because then, of the same thinking, then maybe this guy wouldn't overextend himself so much because there would be more people volunteering to help. Except when you've got the 46% living at or below the poverty level, they're not thinking of contributing, helping you out. Seeing somebody with a flat tire on the side of the road, pulling over, can I help you? They're not thinking about that. They're waiting for their welfare check to come in, and it's that attitude has to change.
I think in the next 5, at worst, best 20 years from now, we're going to have a situation with elected officials who people don't want to do it because the way elections are happening and the way elected officials are being treated. There's going to be, elected officials don't get paid that much money. I mean, people think elected officials are, they're not. They're getting a very small amount of money. The mayor of Michigan City, you might think, is making a lot of money. Probably should be paid double that. And maybe you have people that are good leaders, business people that would do that. Or maybe they work hard. They are really, the elected officials are working on it, but in 20 years, say, there might not be people on that ballot. And then what if there's no one on the ballot for Michigan City Mayor? What if that happens? What happens? We have an election, so everyone says, I don't want to do that. It pays not much money. I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to put my family through that. Does the governor appoint the mayor? That day's coming, folks, and we need people to step up. And in the midst of people stepping up and running for office, we need people to back off and stop the vitriol that is really destroying ourselves from within.
Now, to change the subject a little bit, I got an email from Jeffrey Scott Dobler, the director of music education and bands at Valparaiso University. And I told Jeff, put me on your email list, Jeff, because he does a lot of things there.
Sure does.
That revolve around music. Now, we're a supporter of the Michigan City Municipal Band, but they only play 13, 14 weeks. And then Jeff leaves, he goes back, and he conducts the Valparaiso University Chamber Concert Band. And on Saturday, October the 4th, there's going to be 2 concerts, free concerts on the concert band. On the 4th of Saturday, October the 4th at 4 o'clock and 7:30. The one concert band will feature the Valparaiso University Chamber Concert Band. And admission is free. If you're looking for the common denominator, the common spoken word throughout the world, go to Valparaiso University and listen to the music.
And a peaceful evening.
Again, Sousa music. They're going to play. I read they're playing some Elton John music. They're playing different compositions pertaining to. Again, some of it had a religious connotation to it, which isn't bad. But you go there, and for that maybe 5 or 6 hours, you're in a twilight zone,
You could give your brain a rest.
You could.
Because our brains work overtime.
And you got to give this guy credit for his enthusiasm with the sounds of music, because not everybody does that. I still listen on Saturday nights. I look forward to Lawrence Welk on public access TV, on public television 2 times on Saturday nights, because it reminds me of the past.
Something like that.
Good memories.
And as I get older, I realize things aren't going to be around forever. So someone like that, you better go enjoy and savor the enjoyment. Whether it's your favorite restaurant, right? Things aren't going to be around. So when you're there, be thankful, enjoy it, savor the moment. If it's there again later, it's there again later. But someone like that, pretty good.
Yeah,
5 minutes here.
Yeah, 5 minutes now. Well, let's see. We filibustered for almost an hour. All in all, I see now Michigan City is slowly on the rise. There are still problems. There are still economic problems, but it boils down to the residents of Michigan City, who maybe are on the lower side of the ledger. They have to take a new attitude and improve themselves. Nobody's going to, well, there are certain entities, certain social entities. Jim Musial with his...
he tries hard.
This is his last year. He's retiring.
Oh, wow, we're in trouble.
From his...
We need somebody to step up.
Right? But the issue is that the people that he attracts, you have to be no drugs, no alcohol, no this, no that want to improve their lifestyle.
He does not accept failure.
Right. And Jim laid the edict out, and it works, because there are people who want to improve themselves, to give them a hand up rather than a hand out. But the way I read it, and the way I see it in Michigan City, you want people want more of a hand out than a hand up. And that's a wrong approach.
I think Michigan City has just been given a challenge, and it's going to be a heavy lift with things like NIPSCO and the prison. We suffered a setback. I think the mayor is lifting as well as she can. So is the council. We suffered a setback with the prison, and NIPSCO thinking they might stay. We got to step up It might take a few more years, but we need to rise to that level and come to the challenge that we still want the prison and NIPSCO to be redeveloped.
The solar project has been approved. It's moving forward. According to what I hear, solar project is 1/3 sold. They want a 2/3 arrangement in selling of all their apartments by the first of the year before they initiate a building program. That's 2/3. It's been sitting there for how long? Accumulating 1/3 occupancy now?
And it's kudos to the mayor for telling them, put up or go
shut.
away.
That's right.
And she is going to hold them to it, so the fire is underneath them, and they're going to try to get I don't know if they will. Personally, I don't think they will. But if they don't, we're moving on.
Yeah, I can't see how they're going to sell an additional 30% of their property by December 31st. I really don't.
Now, I don't think that Sola, the apartments might be different from we might still get the hotel, but we'll see. It's a good thing for Michigan City. So we only got a couple minutes. Again, Michigan City has a challenge and a heavy lift coming up in this next year or two with NIPSCO and the prison. We cannot give up. That will drive this city for the next 100 years. And we need to keep going.
And I'm glad I'm living long enough to see some positive movement. It took a while.
I didn't ever think we would get rid of NIPSCO. I've never thought we'd get rid of the prison.
Yeah, it took a while.
Glory be that we have the chance, and I hope we don't fritter it away. I think the mayor's doing a good job. I think the council's doing a good job. I think the county commissioners are going to do a job standing up for us. We don't need these higher taxes. We don't need all these fees. We need to get our tax revenue fair, and we need the opportunity to develop our communities without NIPSCO at the lakefront and the prison over here.
And the foundation with the data center has been set.
Yes.
And it's how we capitalize on that foundation that will make the future of Michigan City greater than beyond. We're getting down to 1 minute, Tony.
It was good to go to St. Louis to see the Mississippi River. It's very dry. I was down there in 94, 95 in the floods when it was completely flooded. It's such a different animal. But if you ever go down and you cross 70 or 270, check down the Mississippi, you will always see barges full of grain going down the Mississippi. That's how important that is.
Well, again, I hope you enjoyed our 1 hour of filibustering. I'll be closing the program by saying I want to thank everybody for watching. Your input as to improvements or criticism of this program is greatly appreciated. Please contact shows by co-producers Tony Hendricks or Dave Bilo with your comments. You can email Tony at HEMILHEM@yahoo.com, Dave at DJBilo1@hotmail.com, or or you may direct your ideas for any future shows to our one and only staff writer, who isn't Tony. Her name is Sarah Bellum. The showing of our program will be Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Monday and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. on Channel 99. You may also watch us on our YouTube channel, Navigate News and Views. I noticed a whole bunch of those globes side by side. Eventually, we're going to have the entire screen full of globes.
We hope.
In a tiny little amount. I want to thank everybody for watching, and make it a good day.